Okay, and now we're moving down to how we can optimize your biological and hormonal state to feel less stressed and reduce your stress response. In this category, I have 5 tools and tips that are really hands-on, really simple, and easy to implement. So you can think about which one you want to implement during this presentation. Number 1, make sure you get enough sleep and have an evening routine that makes it easy to get to sleep in time. So get to bed, for example, at least 1 hour before you actually plan to fall asleep, so you can chill out a bit, read a book or something like that, and then still get 8 hours of sleep. And don't do anything that makes you like excited too much, like watch scary movies or something too intense before you sleep. Something that makes you relaxed, especially reading books or listening to audiobooks can be helpful. The definition of sleeping enough, I would say, is to sleep until you wake up. That would be optimal, but of course it's not everybody who can do that, but that's the good definition. And I actually made a free course that you can do about morning routines that includes an evening routine. Ironically, because I said that the first thing you have to get right in the morning is to make sure you sleep enough, but that already starts in the evening, right? So check that out if you want. The second one is also easy to implement, and that is to regulate your use of coffee and tea and stimulants. So you limit the amount of caffeine you take in, and also put a time limit on so you don't drink coffee after, for example, 2 p.m. When I'm on a normal diet, I will drink around 3 cups of coffee in a day, maybe 4 in some cases. But if I'm dieting on a low carb diet, in order to cut down in weight, in body weight, I actually only need 1 cup of coffee. If I drink more than 1 cup, I will feel too alert and too excited. And I'll be easier to get stressed if I have too much coffee when I'm dieting. So that is something to pay attention to as well. That will make it easier for you to fall asleep, and it's also directly correlated with your hormonal state, because what coffee and tea, like basically caffeine, does is it upregulates your stress hormones, which make you perform better to a certain degree, but there's a threshold. When you get over that, it just becomes worse, like too much. So it needs to be the right amount. The next one is also super hands-on and simple. It is to pay attention to your meal timing, like when are you eating? It's important that you don't have like a blood sugar crash where you didn't eat for example, 5 hours or 7 hours, unless you're following some special diet, of course, that's designed for that. But make sure that you don't have energy crashes because of bad meal timing. That's pretty simple. And you can work around that also by having like a snack routine where you maybe have a handful of nuts and a piece of fruit, like an apple or a banana. If there's a time of your day where you don't have time for a meal, but you feel like you need it, then just have a bag of nuts and maybe a piece of fruit. Easy peasy. The next tool I use to optimize my biological and hormonal state is also a real classic, and that is simply to have a workout routine. So I work out in the gym usually 3 days a week, and then I does cardio also 2 or 3 days a week, and then I have 1 day off. Sometimes if I feel like I need more recovery time, then I'll take 2 or even 3 days off without training. But the general routine is training gym 3 days a week and cardio 2 or 3 days a week as well.